creative friends, this is Joy. So this is a journal that I made recently to use as a sketchbook, and I just used chipboard, heavy cardstock, and then I did the Coptic stitch. It's 8.5 tall by 5.5 wide. And if you're interested in purchasing one just like this one, visit my Etsy shop. I'll put a link down below, and I will have one on there for sale that you can purchase if you're interested. So I decided that I wanted to use this as a sketchbook, but I wanted to use it for more than just a sketchbook. I wanted to also be able to, add color and detail. And so I got the idea because I was like, well, what am I going to draw in this? And so I got the idea that I've got tons and tons and tons of ephemera, and I could probably, go through my stash and find something. I love to draw animals and find pictures of animals to draw, but then it's like, well, I kind of want to do more than just draw animals. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to go through my stash, find pictures of things that I can put together on a page. So that's what I'm doing here. I went through my stash and I found this picture of the parrot and then the flower, the coconut, and the watch, and decided that I wanted to do a page that incorporated these elements on the page. So I'm just doing a quick sketch here of all of these on the page in the position or layout that I kind of had in my head when I selected these items. And then I have this, I figured, well, I would like to add some color to this, so I have this watercolor set that I got recently, and this is my first time using it. So I thought that would be a good start to get some color on the page. And then I figured I could come back in after that and use markers, pen, ink, pencils, whatever I decide to use after I get color on the page to add in more detail to the drawing. And I went through my stash and I found, actually, as I was going through trying to find a combination of pictures that I wanted to incorporate on a page, I ended up with quite a few different groupings of pictures. So I thought, well, that's kind of good because then I have, you know, other groupings of pictures and ideas for other pages to do in this journal that incorporate different animals, elements, and people. So I'm really excited about this. I feel like that it allows me to draw and practice my drawing skills. I mean, I love art journaling. I have a lot of fun art journaling. But there's times where, I do want to draw and do something more creative. And I do have a sketchbook, if you've been watching my videos, where I've been drawing and painting animals, and I will continue to do that. But I wanted this particular sketchbook to be, a little bit different and more fun and more creative, I guess. I mean, the book that I use for drawing and painting animals in, I think it's pretty creative, but this allows me to, even add other elements to the page, which is, a lot of fun. So as you see here, I'm adding like different shades of this red to this flower. I added red and then I added burgundy. And I'll go back in with, actually, I decided to use some ink on this to get even more detail, and you'll see that here in a minute. And I'm quickly giving some color to the coconut. And here I'm going back over the Parrot. The black wasn't as saturated as I would have liked, so I'm going back over that again. And the blue isn't as saturated either, which you'll see in a little bit that I also go back over that to get the blue more saturated. And the coconut, I felt like needed to have some shadowing and be darkened up a little bit, so that's what I'm doing here. But this is, I thought I was used to this new headphone set, but this is like my third attempt at recording this. So hopefully this recording will be better than the first two attempts. We shall see. It's this headphone is very, very sensitive, and so any kind of noise or movement or even my voice, it just amplifies it. And there I smudged, somehow I smeared the mouth because it wasn't dry completely, but you'll see in a little bit I kind of fix it and kind of incorporate it into the drawing so then you can't tell. So I pulled out some Bombay ink and just a quill pen, and using that to try to add in some more color and detail to this drawing. And I have I don't know how many different colors, but I have a ton of these Bombay inks, and I don't even know why I bought them. I probably saw someone using them for something, some kind of project, which I don't remember, and decided I wanted to get some and try that. But then, of course, I bought all of these, and I don't even remember where I saw them being used. And then I haven't really used them much, but I'm certainly, looking forward to using them more in this sketchbook. And I really like the details that I can get with using these inks and the quill pen. It's, like on the flower, there were some fine lines on there, and I was able to get all of that in. I don't know that you can really see all of that in this video, and maybe you can, at the end with the pictures, maybe see a little bit better or more of the detail. But I really like the control that I had with that to get more detail in here. So here's where I went back in with the watercolor paints, because I felt like that the blue needed to be darkened up on the bird. It was just not dark enough. So I'm just trying to add another layer of the blue on there to darken it up. And then I realized that I kind of would have liked to have left a little lighter across the top of his wing, so I added a little water and was trying to blot that up just to kind of give a little bit of a shadow effect. And then I grabbed my pen here, several different pens, to trace around everything, or, well, not everything. I didn't use it to trace around everything, but I did use it to trace around some of the items, like the watch you saw there, and then I'm adding the finer details into his eye, and then I fix his beak where I smudged it there and kind of incorporate it and make it part of the drawing. So then you can't really tell. It looks like I did that on purpose. Adding more detail to the coconut, and the coconut had some fine lines around the rim of it, so I'm trying to give that impression. But then I realized that it was really white, and it needed to be a little bit darker. So you'll see that here in a minute where I try to, there, kind of just make that a little bit less like white and pristine. He seemed like he had some texturing in the white area on his face. So I'm trying to somewhat replicate that, and I probably should have stopped at this point. But then it looked like, oh, I can see like some shadowing there and a little bit of, like a yellow ochre. So I was trying to add that in, and then it just muddied up the whole thing. So you'll see I end up coming back in with some white, or attempt to come back in with some white. I grabbed my Posca paint pens to try to add some details, add some of that as detail to the picture. As you saw me there, I got the yellow, but the red wasn't contrasting enough, so I had to go back to the watercolor paints. And then here I tried to use a white paint pen. Tried to use the white Posca pen, and it just got, just wasn't working. And there was some stars on this watch, and I tried to use a couple of different pens on it. But you'll see here I do finally use a white pencil there, and that the stars show up after using that. And it had in that circle, which I guess is a moon, and around the rim of the watch it had like diamonds. So I'm trying to somewhat replicate, that look and texture. I drew just circles around the rim, and little circles in that small circle. And I'll go over it here with the white. So this is just white acrylic paint that I put out there, and I added some of that to the parrot's face to try to bring back some of the white that I muddied, which, I liked better after I did that. And then just trying to add dabs of it around the rim and on that circle. Again, just trying to get the look and feel of that texture on that watch, and then adding in some lines that I saw on the watch. So that's pretty much the page for today. I thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you liked the video, and we will talk to you guys again next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.